Hi guys, so we should be live now. We'll give it a minute or two for some more people to join in. If you're watching, guys, put a comment on, let me know who you are, okay, and you're going to train. What we're going to do this week is sort of similar to what we done last week, the same sort of format. Start off with some movement, bit of striking. Later on, we'll get onto some strength work, some shadow fighting, and then we'll finish with some stretching. The idea for the shadow fighting is we'll keep the same format as last week. I like training it scalable. So last week we started off with 5 rounds of 30 seconds. This week we'll go to 6 rounds of 30 seconds. And we'll keep building that up until that gets too easy. And then we'll up the time of the rounds. Okay, so guys, we'll kick off. Okay, I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see me. Okay, so we'll start with that. So what we're going to do is start on our stomach. Okay, pull your shoulders down, put your hands beside your chest, and just pushing up nice and tall. Just push up, just stretch out the whole front side of the body, and then we come back down. When we come up, nice long neck. Shoulders away from the ears. Now when you come up, just drop one hip to the ground. Think of looking over your shoulder, back towards one foot. We switch sides, and we're back to the ground. So up, drop one hip, switch sides, and then back to the ground. Staying on the ground, taking our hands to the side and making our S's behind our back. So as you make the S, don't force your hands together, just keep your elbows nice and high. You might get some clicks, some cracks from your back. That's okay. There's one. And we bring our hands back beside our chest, put our feet together. We're pushing up, lift your body as one unit, then rock back. So bring your heels towards the ground, keep your knees straight, let your head drop between your arms. Come forward to make a straight line again from your shoulder down to your wrist, and then lower yourself to the ground. So try lift up if you can as one unit. We rock back. So get a bit of a stretch in the hamstrings and the calves, the back of the legs here, as you push your heels to the ground. We come forward, and a little bit of work in the press up, just lower yourself down gently. Push up. We rock back. We come forward, and we go down. From here, the same thing, keep your hips facing down, keep your knees straight. We're going to try lift one heel to the ceiling. Try keep your toes down, don't turn your leg. And the same idea, but this time lift that heel as high as it will go. Slowly we come down, and we change legs. And we're back down. So again, keep the knees straight, make sure your toes and your hip is down. So you're focusing on getting that stretch, but at the same time, you're making sure you're keeping good technique. We switch again. This time, same idea, but you're going to make a scorpion. So you push up, take your foot, and try to touch your toes to the back of your head. And if you can do that, you can turn off the video, you're done. So switch legs, we push up, take your toes, reach them forward, think your leg like a scorpion's tail, come down to the ground. Again. From there, we push up. Let's go back to that 6-point position we had last week. So the 2 hands, the 2 feet, and the 2 knees. And from there, just rocking just forwards and back. So get some weight on the wrists, back on the knees, bend our toes back. And again, some clicks, some cracks aren't bad. As long as there's no pain, it's not usually an issue. We stay in the middle. And like last week, think of touching your chin to your belly button, then your eyes to the roof. It's kind of like a cat camel sort of movement. You arch one way, and then we're arching back the opposite way. Staying in the middle. The bird dog we had last week, so taking our hand forward, taking our heel back, arm or leg down, touch elbow and knee together, then come to the ground. So we lift, we extend, opposite arm, opposite leg, elbow and to the ground. Opposite side, elbow, knee, extend, elbow, knee, and to the ground. Now for fun, let's try both sides, or both sides at the same time won't work. Let's try both the same side. So left hand and left leg. So we lift, we extend, we pause, come back in, and we switch. So try to keep your hip facing down. And we'll go one more time each side. And we're back in. So just make sure you have a little bit of space behind you. We talked about last week, you can be a little bit higher. Try to keep your heels on the ground. Put your hands behind you. Walk back a little bit, point your fingers backwards. And then from there, just reach your hips to the ceiling. We lower our hips, walk our hands forwards again. Come back to that tall position. So like squatting, it. Come back in and switch. And walk back. So nice and tall, push the knees out, hands behind. And here, push the hips out as high as you can. At the top, if it's tight, squeeze your butt, squeeze your glutes. Usually get a little bit more. Walk your hands out to the front again. Hand to the side. Come back and we switch. Walk back. Nice and tall in this position. And from there, just come to the ground. So we're going to sit down. Put one foot on the ground, extend your knee. And we're going for a little bit of a stretch on the hamstring. So you're going to hold your hamstring. Don't let your knee bend at all. It doesn't matter how far you bring your leg back. Once you've that knee locked out. So your head on the ground and just pull in, hold a little bit of a stretch. So when you're here, breathe at your nose. Make sure the knee is straight so you're keeping good technique, but also you're feeling a bit of a stretch. So get that balance right between it being an effort, but keeping good technique. Change legs. So lock the knee out. Think of touching the toes to the shin. Push your heel to the ceiling. Just hold that bit of a stretch. From here, palms face up. Take your two legs up, and we're doing our leg lowering. So we're lowering one foot towards the ground. Stop it before it gets there. You come back up, and then we switch. So what we want here is that one leg is moving and having no effect on the opposite leg. In class, keep your mouth closed. It's not about talking, it's about breathing with your nose. And also don't hold your breath, because when an exercise gets hard, the first thing people do. They hold their breath. I ask them, is it easy? They say, no. You want to make this like a normal movement, breathing with your nose. So we come back up. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to work on the striking now. So the striking that we're looking at today is going to be from a fighting stance. We're looking at striking from our backhand and our front hook. I'm not sure how this is going to work in the camera. Does it mirror or whatever on your screen? So I'm going to put my left in front. Actually, I'll put my right in front if you guys do the same. Okay. No, I'll put my right in front. You guys put your left in front. And I think that will mirror us. Okay. Take our hands up. Okay. We're going to work, boom, just off our backhand here. Just here. Okay. So what we're looking at is the hip movement. Your hip is turning, your hand is high. Okay. So like last week, what I want to start off punching here, hit and recall. I'm going to stop every couple of seconds, give some pointers, boom, but you don't stop. So off we go. So you guys are moving. Make sure that foot is twisting here. The foot twist, the hip twist, the shoulder twist behind it. Your hand goes out 100 miles an hour, comes back 200 miles an hour. So that's only halfway when it gets there. Boom. Punch out and back. Start to get some aggression behind the striking. Make sure the elbow isn't sticking out. So make sure this other hand is staying nice. And I keep going. Make sure this other hand stays high. Don't let it drop. Sometimes people have a tendency to drop one hand when the other one punches, and just relax for a moment. So we'll switch sides. We'll put our left in front, hands high, okay, and the same off your backhand. Ready? Let's go. So make sure, keep going, make sure you're recoiling the hip back and the hand. So sometimes people pull the body back fast, the hand just sort of falls back. Out and back with the hand, nice and quick. And again, get that aggression behind it, get that power, hitting, we're striking, and then we're recoiling with power. Okay, relax. From here, we're going to switch to hitting off our front hand. So what the punch we're going to look at is our hook, okay? So the target is here. We're hitting with the two big knuckles, okay? And we're hitting around. So punching, boom, and back. We had this last week. Ready? Let's go. Turning, that allows the knee, the hip, the shoulder to turn. You're getting the elbow behind the knuckles. As soon as you strike, pull the elbow back. So your hand doesn't come back the same way. It hits, it comes back, and keep the backhand up. And we switch legs. Take a little breather. We put the opposite foot in front, hands are high. So like we said last week in our fighting stance, back heel is raised, leaning a little bit on the front leg. And we're going with the opposite hand. Let's go. So what we're going to look at now is putting those together in little combinations. So we're going to go backhand and front hook, then we'll go to front hook, backhand. So you think about it like we talked about with self-defense. We're looking to avoid situations, not to punch, do everything we can to do that. If we do have to use our hands to defend ourselves, we want to be fast, we want it to be unpredictable, so different hands coming from different directions, and we want to escape as quick as we can. So we'll take one foot behind again, backhand, front hook. So as you punch, when you recoil with one hand, the second punch is already starting to move. Without my arms, you can see that hip and shoulder movement. Ready? Let's go. Good. We take a breather. Put the opposite foot behind. Our hands will be high. Again, straight off the backhand and then front hook. Let's go. Get the hip behind each punch. Good. And take a breather. I hope you're making those little grunting noises at home as well when you punch. I can't punch strong without doing that, so apologies if that sounds a little weird on your TV. Okay, what we're going to do is reverse it now. So we were starting backhand and front hook. Now we're going to reverse. So front hook, then backhand. So from your fighting stance, make sure you have a bit of width. If your stance is too narrow, you don't have a good base, you can't generate the power. You ready? Front hook, backhand. Let's go. Switch legs, hand high, let's go. Good. One more time, we're going to switch. Now we're going to put it all together. So you're going to go backhand, front hook, back, left, right. Or left, right, left, whichever. Hand side. Let's go. So move a little bit in your stance. Switch legs. Same again. Good, and take a little bit of breather. Okay, take your hands to the side. So last week we done a little drill with the cups. Let's do the same. So we'll start off just turning your hands over, arms facing up. So you can see now the palms don't face down at all. The hands don't move very much. Good. Body tall, hands to side. Let's go back to those S's. So try to keep that same shape you had when you're on the ground. You're not crunching forward. You're not leaning back. Keep a neutral spine. Keep your chin back. Make those big switches. And again, even if you start to kind of get a little bit out of breath, try to keep your mouth closed. Try breathe with your nose. Okay, so what we're going to move on to now is a little bit of body defense. So when it comes to defending yourself, we have hand defenses, and most of the time that comes from a position that we'll be looking at using body movement to defend. A lot of time will happen kind of reflexively based on our training. So it's not something you're going to plan to do. From sparring, from hitting the pads, from rolling under pads, it's stuff that you're doing all the time. That punch comes towards your head, that just gives you the signal to move. So what we're going to look at first is hitting with our backhand. So we're in our fighting stance. We're punching 1, 2. You imagine a punch comes towards your chin. You're getting off the line. You're coming back with your backhand. So 1, 2, avoid, boom, backhand. So front hand, backhand, avoid, backhand. You can see how that avoid is setting you up, boom, to spring back in. Ready? Let's go. So really working on that backhand. Go. 1, 2, avoid, backhand. Go. Hands high. Good. Next drill we're going to look at now is we're avoiding a backhand. So that time there's a jab coming at your chin, you avoided, boom, you came back. Now the right hand is coming to your face, we're going to move the opposite side. So when you move the opposite side here, when you square back up, a hook is more of a natural to punch to use. So when we're avoiding the jab, we're kind of going back and straight in. Now we're sort of rolling to the side, so it makes more sense to come with like a circular shot coming back to the head. So we're going to go to the drill we had a moment ago, backhand, front hook, but this time you're going to go backhand, front hook, shoulder your back shoulder, front hook, backhand. So again, backhand, front hook, stick your back shoulder forward, that's getting your head off the line, front hook, backhand. So the drill kind of mirrors itself. Ready? Let's go. Good, and short breather. So that's some body movements dealing with punches coming straight at us. It was a jab coming from the left. We're avoiding here. This line is where my chin is. I'm getting my shoulder on the line, which is getting my chin off the line. It was a cross, a backhand coming. I'm getting my back shoulder on the line, getting my chin off them, and I'm coming back. So we're already going 1, 2, or peeling to the side, coming back with our hook and our backhand. Now we're going to look at is like a hook, a circular shot coming at our head. So moving back here isn't going to do anything for us because it's going to put us into the path of that hook. So we're going to come under, okay? And this is where having a good stance is important. If your stance is too narrow, you basically can't squat in this position. You need to have that like pretty much shoulder width stance. So when I'm here, I have my ankles, my hips, my knees, I can move, okay? So what we're going to imagine now is that hook is coming over, a left hand is coming towards your head, okay? The attacker will be here, they're going with their left hand coming over your head. What you're doing is you're squatting with your backhand. So you're moving away, back. Now you can see here, the movement is not just like down and up. I want to avoid that punch, but if I just go down, up, there's a stop, boom, then the punch comes. If I move like a letter C, so I move away and back in, I can kind of generate momentum for my punch even on my downward movement. So as you move away from the punch, you're going down, you're coming back, boom, and you're loading that hip into the extension. So not down and up, peel away, back up, 1, boom, get that front hook through. So continue with the same drill. This time, backhand, front hook, backhand. Ready? Hands on. Let's go. 1, Go. So away. Good. One more to do with this, and we'll get into a little bit of free work, and don't worry, a water break is coming down. So what we're going to look at now is that the punch is coming from the backside, from the backhand, okay? So we're not moving away now and coming up here. We're now keeling to the side. So the right hand is coming towards your head, hook coming for this side of my head, and moving away and back up. So the same idea, we're not going straight down and up, because then there's no momentum. I stop, pump, and I punch. You're moving kind of... Good. Now, hopefully it doesn't make it too complicated. We're going to try to put both together. So what you're going to do, peel away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So go back, backhand, front hook, side, front hook, backhand, back, backhand, front hook, side, front hook, backhand. So for people that are not familiar with these drills, my recommendation is kind of switch your brain off, just sort of go with the flow, because when you start to think about it too much, that's when you mess it up. So start rolling away and backhand. Backhand, front hook, backhand. Backwards, side. Relax. We've one more drill, okay, and then I'm going to give you a water break. Okay, so I'm going to put my gloves on, and I'm going to be your pad holder. We'll try this. So I'm going to move a little bit in my fighting stance. You guys mirror me. So if I go forward, you go back. If I go back, you go forward. I'm going to hold up, and I'm going to call 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're punching from your front hand, and you're going to work there. I may or may not have stolen this idea from Paul. He texted me about it during the week. So hands up, moving. You can thank Paul for this drill. So left foot in front, right foot in front. I don't know which it's going to be, but mirror me. Okay, so we're moving. 2, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 1, 1, 3. Good, and relax. Because I came up there to say the connection was unstable, hopefully we didn't lose any of that. Maybe some of the tech guys knowing how to take it down at the hardest part of the class, I don't know. What we'll do, guys, take a quick sip of water. We're going to come back and we're going to work on some strength work. We're going to work on some stretching, and we're going to do our shadow fighting then. Got another 30 seconds, we'll go back in. Okay, so I remember to put my headphones back on this week. Okay, so guys, we're going to look at our strength work, and we're going to start off with planks. Okay, so obviously we're trying to body weight work at the moment for everybody. If you're training with kettlebells, they're obviously easier to adjust to weight. You can go from 10 to 12 to 16 as you progress with your training. If you're training with barbells, you've got even smaller jumps between the weights, which is not always an advantage. When it comes to bodyweight training, that's kind of one of the disadvantages. You can't adjust your weight unless you're doing our nutrition program as easily. So you can't make it harder by increasing the weight. So what we need to do is vary the exercises. So we'll look at that a little bit today. So we're going to start off with our planks. Last week we done the push-up position plank. This week we're going to go to our forearms. Okay, maybe guys, I see some people are having maybe problems with the Wi-Fi. I'll just move the camera here. Maybe it'll be closer to the house. Okay, so what we're going to look at is our forearm plank, but we're going to make it a little bit tougher. So we're going to start forearms on the ground, feet about shoulder distance. We'll get into this position, and what we're going to do is raise one heel as high as possible and just hold that position. So toes down, keep our knees straight, just hold that position. And we're going to change from here. We're not going to give up the plank. Change legs. So try not to let your hips get too high. Try to keep your toes and your hips facing down. And then from there, go to 2 feet and just hold that position. So this should feel really easy. This should be like a break now because you're using your 2 legs. "45 seconds left. Hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't freeze now. Be stuck here for an hour and a half. "30 seconds. "20 seconds. We still have our 32 viewers, good. 15. 10 seconds. And we relax. Oh, kneel up. Take the hands out, just shake out a small bit. Shake the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to move to our press-ups, and we're going to do the same idea as last week. We're going for 20 press-ups in whatever format you want to do. So you go 20 straight through. You can do 2 sets of 10. You can do 3 sets of 7, roughly 20. You can do 4 sets of 6 and 6 sets of 4. Whatever way you want to do to get roughly 20 press-ups. How we're also going to vary this week. If you find the press-ups hard, you can elevate your upper body. So like on the side of your couch or whatever, put your hands and do your press-ups to that position. You don't need to go full depth. Okay, I'd rather people do like a full press-up, but go half depth than do press-ups from the knees, because there's more to press-ups than just the arms and the chest and the shoulders. There's the body strength as well. Okay, that's variation number 1 here. Variation number 2 is just a regular hand shoulder width, turn the elbow forwards and work our press-ups. Variation number 3 is a diamond with our hands under our chest. So we're here. And variation number 4, if Brian is watching, okay, raise your feet up. Okay, so from here, put your feet high, or if you want to walk your feet up the wall and do press-ups in there, that's fine. Okay, so whatever variation suits you, 20 press-ups in your own time, whatever format you can do. Don't go to failure. So try breathe through your nose, particularly if you're done. You get that kind of thing to breathe really quickly. Try keep your mouth closed. Try breathe through your nose most of the time. Try keep regular breathing. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is our squats, and we're going to look at our squats and our bat wings together. So we're going to do 3 sets of squats, and we're going to do 3 sets of bat wings. So we'll start off with the squats. I'll just adjust the camera for a moment. So standing tall, feet about shoulder distance, toes can turn out a little bit, don't need to be perfectly forward. Big thing is toes and knees face the same way. Like we said last week, imagine you're going to sit backwards onto like a small stool. Keep your body tall, and we'll go for like 10 to 12 squats. Keep your hands high, and every time you come up, let's do a front kick. Let's go. Okay. For our bat wings, the big thing we want to do is keep a straight line from shoulder to ankle. So we don't just kind of fold in the middle. Go to your wall, go to your door, put your feet together, shrug your shoulders. Now do the opposite. Pull the shoulders down. Elbows tight to the wall, walk your feet out a little bit. So now I don't have a straight line from my shoulder to my ankle. When I push my body off the wall with my elbows, that's what I want to create. So here, let's go. Try to pull your hands into your armpits, get the hips forward, just hold that position. So like we said last week, it's about trying to bring the shoulder blades together. We're just going to hold this position for about 10 seconds. We're talking for about 10 seconds there, so we'll stop. So what we're looking for there is that. So this is good. This is much better. So try really push up and get the thumbs back into the armpits. We're going to go back to our squats now. 10 to 12 squats. This time when you come up, boom, side kick. Switch your legs each time. Let's go. Good. Okay. So guys, we'll go back to the wall. Second set of bat wings, again, thumbs into the armpits. Ready? Go. Good, and relax. So that bat wing doesn't feel like much at the moment. Probably feel a little bit in the upper back, but until the last week after doing that, like I was really feeling that for a couple of days. It's not something that we work on enough. It's kind of a pulling exercise. Usually you pull 2 kettlebells up, but because we don't have kettlebells at the training all the time, we can't work that all the time. So we work more press ups, squats, stuff like this. Okay, another set of squats. This time you're up with a back kick. So ready, hands high. Let's go. Okay, next time, our next set, let's go back to the walls, last set of that wing. Stick our feet out, pull the shoulders down, big chest. Ready, let's go. Good. Now, last week for hip extension, we looked at our hip thrusters, our pelvic tilts, we lie on the ground. What we're going to look at this week is a single leg deadlift. So keep your hips forward, keep your toes pointing down. Take your right hand, you're going to reach this heel backwards. Don't let this hip move, and you're going to reach towards the ground. Okay? So it's not leaning forward. Take one heel, reach it to the wall behind you. Okay? And your body will lower down. So you're hinging this hip here. Hips forward, toes down. We'll go for 5. Reach his heel back, let his arm come down, touch towards the ground. You come back up, you can put your foot down, get your balance. Let's go again. So really focus on reaching that heel back, not leaning forwards. You come back up, we go again. So heel is going backwards, my body is lowering down because that heel is going back. Keep those toes facing down. I think that's straight. So try keep your upper body parallel to the ground. Let's get one more set in. One more rep in, I should say. We go back up. Okay, so you should feel on the glute on the opposite side, maybe the hamstring a little bit. Let's change legs. Reaching our heel back. Back up. So obviously this is a drill we work with our kettlebell in our Saturday strength training, but like even on its own, it's a good drill to practice, and even like with no weight. So a lot of time, even people who are heavy deadlifters, it's good to work on because it's kind of making sure that you're symmetrical right to left. You've got a little bit of balance work going on here. If you think about it, everything we do in Krav is pretty much single leg. Even moving in a stance is single leg work. I've done my normal trick of starting to talk and forgetting to count the reps, so we'll do one more. Okay, guys, grab a quick sip of water. Then what we're going to do is come back and we're going to go for our 6th round of shadow fighting. Okay, so like last week, I'm putting my gloves on. You don't need to do it. So we're going to go for 6 rounds of shadow fighting now. Okay, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Okay, when you're fighting, try to bring in the stuff we worked on earlier, the technical work. So backhand, front hook, backhand, front hook, backhand as some striking drills. Also look at going maybe 1, 2, getting off the line, coming back. Hit with your backhand, hit with a front kick, show them the back shoulder, and come back striking. Roll underneath, come up, roll to the side. So try bring those drills into your shadow fighting now. So we're going to start in 15 seconds, 30 seconds straight through shadow fighting, and then 30 seconds rest. And the rest, keep your composure, stand tall, try breathe through your nose. Okay, 5 seconds. Get in your fighting stance, and we'll get ready to get to work. 3, 2, 1. Ding ding, let's go. And breathe. Love. So again, stay tall. Particularly in the area around, try breathe through your nose on your break. Try keep normal breathing. Resist the urge to gasp for air. Five seconds. Round number 2 coming up. Ready? Let's go. Good. Breather. So 2 rounds down, 4 to go. Good, since you moved the camera. Good. Three, 2, 1, round 3, ready? Let's go. and relax. Halfway there. Only halfway there. Still do it all again. Again, keep the breathing controlled. Feels uncomfortable at the start. We get a lot more of it, we can do that. Get ready for around 4 or 5 seconds. Hands up. Let's go. And relax. So 2/3 of the way there. Stay tall. Slow your breathing. Ten seconds. Let's go. And breathe there. One more round to go. So if this was last week, you'd be done by now. We are stronger this week. Ready? 3 seconds. Get to our stance. Let's go. And take a breather. Stand tall. Keep your mouth closed. Breathe at your nose. Okay, guys, quick sip of water. We're going to come back. We're going to do a little bit of stretching. So if you're training on a wooden floor or whatever, if you want to grab something to put under your knees, something soft, we're going to do a little bit of a frog stretch. Ever notice the way I give you more water breaks when I'm training myself? Okay, so guys, like I said, if you're training on a hard floor, get something to put under your knees. Can be your gloves, can be like a rolled jump or whatever. It's going to be a little bit of movement on your knees. So, I'll move back. I'll turn the camera down a little bit as you can see. Okay, so you're putting some on your knees if you've got a hard floor. I'm working on the mat, so I will go without. So push your knees out as wide as you can. Start with your hips between your knees. Don't be too far forward. Okay, you want your ankle behind your knee. So your knees are at right angles. Keep your body tall. Your hips are between your knees. And what you're going to do is rock forwards and back. So when you push back, you should feel more of a stretch. And what I want you to do is when you're rocking here, like realistically, we're going 30 times. We might do a little bit less today. But when you're moving like this, if it starts to feel easier, if you get more comfortable, you're looking to push that knee out. So if it's kind of like an 8 out of 10 on the soreness threshold, keep it that way, because it'll get easier as you move. Rocking, big movements of the hips. Like I said, if it's getting easier, push those knees out. And again, keep normal breathing. Teach your body this is a comfortable range of motion to be in. Stay relaxed, keep your heart rate lower. Bring your elbows to the ground, forearms on the ground, and try to push the knees out a little bit more. And push the hips back, try and move your hips back behind your knees. From there, I usually move my elbows forwards a little bit with this. Turn your hip over, rock back, and then switch sides. So drop your hip to the ground, rotate your hip over, and then switch sides. Again, push the knees out a little bit if it starts to feel easier. Come back to your hands. Again, widen knees. Just rock a little bit here for a second again. Now, you've got this knee coming straight on across the other leg. We want to keep that, but now we want to come out into a half split. So one side of your body is in the split, the other side is still in the frog, and you start to rock there. And like I don't know, the better thing or the worst thing about this, because your foot is extended, you'll probably find it easier to push that leg out a little bit more. Just rock. Again, just rocking forward and back. So a big part of stretching, spend a long time in that position. Teach your body this is a comfortable position to be in. Going to reduce the stress. And push that foot out a bit if you can. Now keep this position. Oh, look at that. Look to rotate that foot. So you can't see what's happening. This hip is rotating. My toes are going to the ceiling. Hips are shifting back as I do it. So we worked a little bit internal, now a little bit external rotation on our hip. Back to your knees. And as we said last week, the bad news is you have two legs. So take the opposite leg out and then start to rock again. Now from there, opening and closing. And now the last one, stick with me here. I think I just heard like a load of groans coming through the door from all around Clondalkin, Lucan, and Tala, and Racool, and Taranura. Okay, guys, lean on your arms, just rocking forwards and back. Okay, again, breathing through the nose. You push out a little bit too. It's not comfortable. Okay, it's very uncomfortable, but staying in this position for a while is going to help you get some progress. So I'll be nice today. We'll cut it short, gently come out of that position. Oh, that's good. Okay, what I want to do now is just stand up, just walk a little bit. Okay, so I always find when I do the frog stretch there, when I stand up, I start to move my legs around. I really feel tightness here. Okay, just push your hips forward. Feel that tightness in the front of your hips. You're going to loosen out all around the inside here. You'll feel that tightness. I'll get your hip flexors. So that's the muscles here that when you clench the glutes here, they extend. They're the muscles that lift your legs up. Okay, and when you kick and when you run. And you feel that tightness now, you loosen the other things up. So our go-to stretch for that is the couch stretch. We won't do that this week because I want to keep some viewers for next week. What we'll do is just that gentle hip flexor stretch we had last week. So make a narrow base, keep your body tall. We talked about a bowl of water last week. So you imagine that your pelvis is a bowl of water. Tip water out this side. So squeeze your glutes, push your portal, just turn to an angle so you can see. So reach your head to the ceiling. This hip, think of lifting it up, push forward. So you're not coming forward here, that you don't get a stretch then. Think of pointing your belly button at the roof. For more of a stretch, just squeeze your glute and just push out there. I noticed, guys, we lost 2 viewers when we done the frog stretch and they're back now. So we're going to name and shame you, although I can't see your names. So squeeze your glute, just push your hips out. Just hold that position. So you feel a stretch here in the hip flexor and the quad here and the frontal leg. Good. And we'll switch sides. Squeeze your glute, push the hip out. Again, think now tipping out this side. So you want to elongate this side. From this shoulder to that knee, you make it longer by pulling up, and also you make it longer by not being a straight line. So you push the hip forward to make kind of an arc from that knee to that shoulder. Again, for more of a stretch, squeeze the glute here. On one side contracts, the other side it relaxes, and that allows you to push into a bit more of a stretch. Okay, just gently come up out of it. Just get to a fighting stance, just start to move. Just nice and light. Feel how light your legs feel now. Get some roundhouse kicks, get the hips turning over. Some back kicks where you're extending your hips. Okay. So guys, we'll finish up now in a minute. Well done. We had over 30 people join us again tonight, which is fantastic. I have to say, last week after doing the class, I was buzzing because I didn't realize how much I missed teaching a class. So thanks for joining in. The plan is to do this every Wednesday between now and whenever we get back to training. As well as that, some people are in a nutrition group. So guys, if you haven't sent in your starting details, you can do that now, today or tomorrow, please. We're going to be sending out some workouts. Everybody can do them. So they'll be posted in the regular group, 3 20-minute sessions a week. It'll be with kettlebells and also it'll be without kettlebells. So it's something you can do on your own at home. Then also Ken is going to be putting together some technical videos, just some short videos on some key points. So it'll be very useful to kind of keep your Krav brain ticking over. We have the member site as well, which you can log into and see. If anyone doesn't have the password, check that out. Because that's it. Okay, until next week. We'll see you then. Okay, thank you.